Well, hello, Stacey Murphy here, and I want to talk to you today about why self-reliance is a myth and why that's really good news for us, and it's really good news for our vegetable gardens too. So why do you grow your food? And this might resonate with you. I choose to grow my own food because I'm uncertain how the food at the grocery store was grown, what might be sprayed on it, how many nutrients might have been lost in the transport. And I also choose to grow my own food because it's easier than worrying about all those things, and it tastes better too. So it makes me feel healthy and free. This may sound like self-reliance, relying on my own efforts, but it's only a small part of the story. So I see the idea of self-reliance as a bit of a dead end, everything pointing only towards my efforts and what I can do for myself. Nature doesn't work that way. Nature is a web of mutually beneficial relationships. I could start talking about your garden and quickly connect your garden to your carbon footprint on Earth as it relates to climate change, but I'm not going to go there for now. So where was I? I was talking about self-reliance. So it's a bit of a dead end and a myth for me. And thank goodness, because it would be tiring to truly be self-reliant and have to do everything for myself all the time. And I'm guessing you could probably use some help too, right? So when you think about your garden, do you think of something that belongs to you? It's your garden after all, a place where you go to work and then a place where you're rewarded for your efforts with some food. Well, that's not 100% true. The truth is, you might plant the seed, but that seed does a ton of work for you. And it's not just the seed doing that work. The good news is that you have tons of invisible garden helpers. You can't see them, but they are there to help. And this is one of the reasons why I giggle whenever I hear the word self-reliant, because there are literally millions of microorganisms helping you get food on your table. So you might feel all alone when you're hard at work in your garden, but you're not. Nature is all around us all the time, helping us out all the time. Cool, right? Of the millions of garden helpers out there, my favorite are the actinomycetes. What the heck is that, right? So actinomycetes are bacteria that form thread-like bonds, and those threads stretch through the soil, almost fungi-like, and they work together to control harmful or unwanted soil bacteria to keep your plants healthy and disease-free. That is awesome, right? And this is also where antibiotics come from. In 1980, 70% of naturally occurring antibiotics were derived from actinomycetes. And today, most of your topical antibiotics are coming from actinomycetes. Now, there are two other types of these buggers too. So the second type work in symbiotic relationship with the cucumber family, strawberries, and nettles, and they help to fix nitrogen to the roots. And then there's a third type that's famous for composting. So the decomposer actinomycetes, that's a mouthful. Decomposer actinomycetes. Say it with me. The decomposer actinomycetes break down tough plant tissues and also the exoskeletons of insects, making those nutrients available to our plants through compost. And these three types of little guys, they help our plants become nutrient rich so that we can become healthy when we eat those plants, right? So this is all taking place right under your feet. And these networks that these little dudes build, in just a cubic foot of soil, a quarter pound of that is made up of actinomycetes. So this is a living city in your soil, ensuring that your plants don't catch all of those pesky diseases, all without you having to lift a finger. Now I know I'm talking fast, it's because I'm excited. This is just one example of the community of microorganisms that are helping you from within your soil, and I like to call them the League of Underground Microheroes, because they make our gardens so strong, boosting the immunity of our gardens so that our plants don't get diseases without us lifting a finger. That's so cool. So how do you know these actinomycetes are present? So one of the ways that you know that they're present is that they have a very earthy smell. So every time you dig up your soil and you smell that earthy smell, or in the compost bin, you know they're there. And so that means, how do you get them into your garden? Well, compost is one way. They're in the air, they're in the water, and all you need to do is provide a thriving habitat, and those actinomycetes are going to help you out. So isn't it interesting? They rely on us to thrive as much as we rely on them. That's the power of community. Garden community, soil community is so awesome. And now let's take it one step beyond our garden and see how we might mutually benefit from our human community. Have you ever run to your neighbor's house to grab a cup of chia seeds? That's the modern day equivalent of running to get some flour or some sugar from your neighbor, right? So I know people who are living in community where one homestead specializes in timber and building projects, and another specializes in goat milk and cheeses, and another specializes in mushroom cultivation. And so they don't all have to do everything. They can simply focus on one of those things and then share all the beneficial outcomes of the whole. So we don't have to figure it all out on our own. And our elders would tell you humans have been living for thousands of years, and we survived and thrived when we trusted and relied on each other, when we took care of each other. So if you want to build a healthy and vibrant life, the idea of self-reliance may be a dead end. Now, I know this may just be semantics, definitions, but the words we choose matter, and the words are the window into what we really think is possible. So I find it freeing, and maybe you will too, to challenge the concept of self-reliance. How can nature remind us to be more of who we really are, living in more vibrant ecosystems and building more resilient community connections so that we can look after each other? Here's an exercise for you. The next time you walk out into your garden, imagine the garden isn't yours. Imagine it belongs to the billions of creatures and plants that are out there, and you too. And now imagine the same thing about your local community. What will you co-create with those communities? Post in the comments below. I would love to hear your vision. And stay tuned. I have an exciting special announcement next week about garden communities. And in the meantime, when you feel like the weight of the whole garden is on you, it really isn't. Remember, nature has your back. So peace, carrots, love to you.